בוקר טוב חברים, we up to קהילת, פרק ח' פסוק ב'. אני פי מלך שמור ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים. אומר שלמה המלך, אני פי מלך שמור. I keep what the king commanded me to do. Who is the king that Shlomo Melech has to follow? הרי הוא היה מלך המלוכים. חבר פה saying that מלך זה הקדוש ברוך הוא. אומר שלמה המלך, שלמה המלך, I keep the words of Hashem ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים. What does that mean? So, if you have your Chumash, let's open a minute to Parashat Yitro. Mr. Levi, מה יהיה? גם נהנים מהעולם הזה וגם העולם הבא. All right, on page 210. On page 210, עשרת הדיברות. מה כתוב שם? פסוק ב', it says, אנוכי השם אלוהיך. So what was the first command that Hashem commanded Am Israel? אני השם אלוהיך, אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. I am God. תכיר שיש בורא לעולם. So the first one is להאמין שיש בורא לעולם. That's the first one. Believe that there is God in the world and He's running the world, and that's why He took us out of Mitzrayim. That's the first dibur, that's the first command that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Am Yisrael by Har Sinai. Second, מה כתוב? הדיבור השני, לא יהיה לך אלוהים אחרים על פניי. That's love. What's the love? לא יהיה לך, you cannot worship any idols. אסור שלך עוד אלוקים. Beautiful. What's the third one? כתוב בפסוק, תראו מה כתוב, פסוק זין. לא תישא את שם השם אלוהיך לשווא. So the third dibur, the third command that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Am Yisrael was לא תישא את שם אלוהיך לשווא. להישבע לשווא. So we hear three things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded. One, אנוכי השם אלוהיך. There is God in the world. ולהאמין. Second, don't worship idols. That's second. And third is, Adam lo yishava l'sheker. Don't make any promise. Shvuah, sheker. False, swear, asur. Correct? Omer Shlomo HaMelech, פירוש ראשון. The first shot, מה כתוב? אומר שלמה, אני, פי מלך שמור. What the melech, which is Hashem, command me to keep, which is ani, mazani. That's the first command, which is Anochi Hashem Elohecha. That's the first one. Second, ve'al divrat. Ze'al hadibur. What was the second dibur? לא יהיה לך אלוהים אחרים על פניי. Don't worship idols. שבועת אלוהים, that's the third command, which is don't mention Hashem's name לחינם חס ושלום. Don't make any promise, but אתה לא מקיים, you're not fulfilling the promise that you just did. So that's the first shot, how באמת המדרש brings it down. Rashi has a little different. קצת שונה. אומר רש"י, אני פי מלך שמו, I have to keep the words that Hashem said, ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים, promise that, להם אומר רש"י, נשבענו לו בחורב לשמור מצוותיו. כתוב פה. So, the first shot, זה שלמה המלך talks about himself. Second, talks about us. אומר שלמה המלך, אתה אדם יהודי, you promised something to God. Where? בהר חורב. מה היה בהר חורב חברים? מה זה הר חורב? הר סיני. נשבענו לו בחורב, a promise to Hashem. נעשה ונשמע, it's not a promise. אבל מה היה always a promise? The promise is שאנחנו את כל השם, שאנחנו כל שלמה, you promised Hashem. And since you promised Hashem, you better keep your words. Are we getting it? Yes?
Oh, since you promised Hashem.
You know, the Gemara says, if somebody says, אני נשבע, שאני לא מניח תפילין.
Can't do.
He needs a Torah, he needs a Torah נדרים.
You want to promise the other way.
יפה מאוד. אתה עומד ונשבע בהר סיני, you already promised Hashem that you'll keep the whole Torah. השבועה שלך doesn't exist. You hear this? Listen to a story. Rabbi Yonatan Admoni once told me, a mother who was not so religious calls him before Kippur. Usually before Kippur, most questions that the rabbi gets are about also, but mainly it's about food, fasting, hole, lo hole, how much and how. That's most questions that they get before Yom Kippur. And about that also how to do peace between friends. Fine. This one has a very interesting question before Kippur. What was the question? It was a war. And she promised God, if he's going to save her, she's going to keep Kippur. And now, she reversed, so she will have Darin.
Suppose the rabbi said it?
Yeah. Yeah?
But I was just planning to eat on Yom Kippur.
She's planning to eat on Yom Kippur, but she's worried because she promised that she's going to keep Kippur. You hear the question? So you don't hear me.
She couldn't find
Good.
a different rabbi? She goes
to the top rabbi because it's a big question. You hear? She's not worried about the karet that she has on Yom Kippur, but she's worried about the promise that she did that if Hashem is going to save her from the war, guess what? I'm going to keep Kippur. שמעתם? כתוב לנו פה, אני פי מלך שמו. מה שנעניתי לך. הלאה, אני פי מלך שמו. אני שומר the words that Hashem, which is the Torah, is telling me to keep. Why? ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים. אני נשבעתי בהר סיני, I promised in Har Sinai to keep the Torah. So you better make sure to keep the whole Torah kula. Rashi brings down third shot. I mean, Rashi, it's second, but in our class, it's הפירוש השלישי. אומר רש"י, יש לכם את זה? כנס. אנחנו בקהלת. אומר רש"י, דברת שבועת אלוהים, דבר אחר. אני נכון לשמור פי מלכי האומות, המושלים בנו בגול גלויות וארנוניות. You hear this? אומר שלמה המלך, I'm here, I'm here to keep what the kings, what the governments tell us to do. And what they tell us to do is to pay taxes.
So
And I'm keeping this law.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah? No, he's telling you what to do.
He's telling us that this is
Yeah.
to pay taxes.
Pay your taxes. He's a king. ואומר לך, חביבי, אתה הלכת, you live among the goyim, among other kingdom and kings and governments. Make sure to pay taxes.
Doesn't only apply to Yehudi.
תראה מה כתוב.
Where?
אני פי מלך שמו. Melech means governments. And what they tell you to do, you better make sure to listen. What is the hardest thing to do? Not to drive on a traffic light?
Pay taxes.
No. The hardest thing is to pay taxes. אומר רש"י, אני נכון לשמור פי מלכי האומות. When we live among the goyim, he says, אני נכון לשמור פי מלכי האומות, המושלים בנו. They rule over us, habibi. We are their citizens, and we got to keep the laws. And what they tell us to do is to pay taxes. Pay taxes. Now, whatever they're going to tell us to do, we have to keep.
No.
What do you think of it?
Loopholes.
Forget about the loopholes.
Can we do
I'm
loopholes?
asking you. I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
So, Baruch Hashem, we're keeping taxes. We're paying. Great. Now, is Shlomo Melech telling us whatever they tell us to do, you have to keep?
No.
No.
He
No.
said just make sure you pay your taxes.
So, what things don't you listen? Or
No.
shouldn't you listen?
The things that go against the Torah.
Oh, יפה. חזק. אומר אבי, מה כתוב ברש"י? אני פי מלך שמו. I will keep everything they tell us to do. But, ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים. But if they tell us, ובלבד שלא יעבירונו את השבועה שנשבענו למקום. Anything they're going to tell us, which is against the Torah, we're not going to listen. You hear this? To pay taxes, I'm going to pay. You don't want me to drive on a red light? I'm not going to drive on a red light. It's okay. Whatever you want me to do, and I live in your country, I'm going to have to follow. Why? Dina de Malchuta Dina. The Malchut, the governments, they set up a rule, you have to follow the rule. That's only if it doesn't go against Divrat Elohim, if it doesn't go against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. איפה אנחנו מוצאים את זה? He brings us חנניה, מישאל ועזריה. אומר רש"י, כן מצינו, בחנניה, מישאל ועזריה, שאמרו לנבוכדנצר ואמרים למלכה נבוכדנצר, לא השחין אנחנו על דנה פתגם להטבותך. מה כתוב שם? Let's refresh our memory. Not long ago, we learned Sefer Daniel. In Sefer Daniel, still we learned the following story. You want to hear the story? I'll tell the story. Baby, יעקב, תשמע סיפור. רוצה? יאללה, בוא תשמע סיפור. מה הסיפור? It says, נבוכדנצר הרשע, he ruled over the world. He was one of the three kings that ruled over the world. He is the one who destroyed our Bet HaMikdash. The first Bet HaMikdash, who destroyed it, was Nebuchadnezzar Rasha. 71. Thank you. And Am Israel went on exile all the way till Babel. Nebuchadnezzar lived in Babel. He was melech shel Babel, and from there he started, and then he ruled over the world. So, Am Israel, היו בגלות. We end up in Babel. על נהרות Babel. שם ישבנו גם בכינו. So, Am Israel, they went on an exile. We end up in Babel, And there we lived for 70 years. The Galut Babel, was 70 years. When we got to Babel, Nebuchadnezzar asked his manager, bring me the top kids of the Jews. Achia Hachamim, the most brilliant kids, healthy, and the most beautiful kids. And how many kids he got? Hananiah, Mishael, ועזריה.
דניאל.
דניאל היה גם, והם היו, they had to serve Nebuchadnezzar Rasha. So, in the palace, they got need from the government, from the king, but they had to serve him in his palace. They had to speak the language and all kinds of wisdom, philosophy, everything they had to know. And they were there to serve Nebuchadnezzar Rasha. ונבוכדנצר הרשע, חברים יקרים, תשמעו מה קרה. To show his power, what he did, he built a huge Avodah Zarah, 60 feet, 60 amot, 60 amot statue, and it was made out of gold. Gam Kesef, the Osher shows his wealth, and also his power that he has. Mawasa, he built a huge stage, and on the stage he had all kinds of people playing, drums, anything you could think, he had there.
Symphony.
Yes. And from every country, they had to bring people who are going to represent the country, and they're going to have to come to that place. And you're talking about thousands of people. And once the music starts, all people has to bow down to the Avodah Zarah, and that's how you show that he is the king. Not only he is the king, he rules over us, and he's going to rule over us forever. Koah, power, that's what he wanted. Okay? Among the people that they were there and supposed to be there and supposed to bow down, among them was the three kids, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Right? Good?
Remember you told me.
Good? Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Now, this is 100% Avodah. And this is one of the three mitzvot that the Torah tells, Yahareg ve'al ya'avor. Kill yourself, and don't do Avodah Zarah. Hananiah, Mishael, ve'Azariah. מה עושים? They went to Yehezkel Hanavi. They came to Yehezkel, and they asked Yehezkel, כבוד הרב, מה נעשה? What should we do? מה נעשה? אמר, wait a minute, let me ask השם. ויחזקאל בנבואה, he asked השם ריבונו של העולם, Hananiah, Mishael, ועזריה here. We have an issue with the king. Should we go? And you're going to save them? Because if you don't bow down, what happens? You get burned alive. Ayashama, what a bonfire, anak, huge. If you don't bow down, they take you, they tie you, they throw you in the fire, you get burned alive. מה לעשות? יחזקאל הנביא שואל את הקדוש ברוך הוא, ריבונו של העולם. Are you going to save them? הקדוש ברוך הוא אומר ליחזקאל, בנבואה, I'm going to save them. עם ישראל עשו כל כך הרבה פשעים בארץ ישראל. So many עבירות, so many sins עם ישראל they did in ארץ ישראל. And that's why they got kicked out. And that's why they got Bet HaMikdash. And that's why Bet HaMikdash got destroyed. You want me to save them? No way, no מה פתאום. כשיחזקאל שמע, and when יחזקאל heard, it hurt his gut. He started to cry. These innocent kids. ילדי ישראל טהורים, חנניה מישאל ועזריה, from בית יהודה, who came straight from the descendants of David HaMelech, Boaz. They can get killed. על מה? ריבונו של העולם, והוא בוכה. והנבואה הסתיימה. They turn to him and they tell him, is everything okay, Rabbi? Are you telling us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told you that he's not going to do anything to us? Yes. Hashem says he's not going to do anything to you guys. You're on your own. Wow. They tell Haskell, the rabbi, whether HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to save us or not, we are going. Not only we're going, we're going to go and we're going to put Shabbat. Wow. We're not going to go like, with Crocs and jeans. We're going to go now. We're going to change from a weekday clothes to Shabbat clothes. And we're going to go there. And we're not going to bow down. And if they're going to take us and they're going to burn us, let us die. אנחנו הולכים למות על קידוש השם. ושלמה המלך אומר בספר שיר השירים, זאת קומתך דמתה לתמר. What does it mean? זאת קומתך דמתה לתמר. We said every Friday, correct? Avi, we said שיר השירים every Friday. Okay. What does it mean the pasuk זאת קומתך דמתה לתמר? Listen to beautiful pshat. שלמה המלך מדבר על מי? Al Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. They said, we're going to go. But we're not going to stay together. But we don't. Do you know how big is that place? Huge. We want everybody to see us, that we're not going to bow down to the Avodah Zarah. So if we're going to stand right over here on the right side, the one in the center and on the left, they're not going to see. And if we're going to go to the left, it's the same issue. And if we're going to go to the center, it's also the ones on the right side and the left, they're not going to see us. So guess what? Hananiah, you go there, Mishael here, Azariah over there, and guess what? When the music and the start and all the goyim, and we're talking about thousands of goyim, they're gonna be there. They're all gonna bow down, and they're gonna see there is one person sticking out with a kippah. So titties are hanging out. Here's a kippah, a Jew. And then the one in the center, they're going to see another one who's not bowing down to the Avodah Zarah. And the one on the left side, they can see also someone there who is not bowing down to Avodah Zarah. ואומר שלמה המלך, זאת קומתך, you standing there straight, דמתה לתמר. מה זה תמר? A date tree. You saw a date tree? It's an amazing tree. Every tree has branches. From the bottom, all the way up, you have branches. The date tree, a palm tree, a little different. The whole center, the whole middle is empty. And all the way on the top, you see the branches coming out. Correct?
Yeah.
אומרת צדיק כתמר יפרח. וצדיקים, אומר דוד המלך, משולים to the palm tree. Why? Because tzadikim, number one, they're straight. They don't shake. פעם כן, פעם לא, יש learning, yeah, right. They're straight up. הם דומים לעץ תמר. And they stick out. Who are the tzadikim that דוד המלך אומר, סליחה, שלמה המלך אומר, זאת קומתך, דמתה לתמר, חנניה, מישאל ועזריה. When everybody going to bow down to the Avodah Zarah, 3 tzaddikim going to stick out. Who? Hananiah, Mishael, and Okay. I tell you, Rabbi, you're going to die on Kiddush Hashem. Goodbye. They left Yehezkel. They went home. And they went to change clothes. As they left, HaKadosh Baruch Hu came right away to Yehezkel. And Hashem tells him, Yehezkel, why are you crying? Do you think I'm not going to save them? Do you think I'm not going to save them? For sure I'm going to save them. But I want them to go in their mind, Lamut al Kiddush Hashem. Let them give their heart full to Hashem, and then I'm going to save them. But I couldn't tell them. Telling you, don't cry. Yehezkel, stop crying. I'm going to save them, but let them go with the attention that they're going to do on Kiddush Hashem. Fine? They change their clothes and they go to the Bikat Dura. That's the place with the Avodah Zarah. Oh, thousands of people going over there. And as everybody is standing and they're ready to start, the music goes on. And as the music goes on, what happens? Everybody bows down. 3 people didn't. 3 people didn't. Right away, the cops, they went in, they snitched. There is Jews here in your country that don't and are against you. They rebelled against you. Mordim b'melech. Mi? Sha'al Nebuchadnezzar. Who? And they said, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Those people, there's 3 kids. And I don't mean kids 7, 8. They were teenagers. They said to the king, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. These people that did not bow down to Avodah Zarah, they don't listen to king's rule. They got to the king, and this is the pasuk that Rashi quotes. The king אמרו לו ככה, יונה, anything that you want us to do, as far as sin, we're going to follow. But, לא חשינה worry about your command that you just said. And they tell them straight out, Your Honor, if you want us to pay taxes, we're going to pay taxes. But if you want us to go against Hashem's words, our God, they tell them, you're not a king, and you and a dog are equal to us. Let's look in Rashi. Let's see the words inside. תראו מה כתוב. אמרו לו ככה, ואמרו לו, לך אנו אומרים, to you we say, we tell you, דעת מלכה לנו, that you are our king. For what? You are our king לעבודה, to serve you, ולמיסים ולגולגלויות, and to pay taxes. That you are our king and we're going to respect you. אך על דנה, but on that, שאת אומר עלנה, that you telling us, לעבוד עבודה זרה, יא חביבי, נבוכדנצר את ולא מלך. You are a nobody, you're not a king, ואת וכלבה שווים. You hear this? You go tell Nebuchadnezzar, you and a dog, and our eyes are the same. מה אתם אומרים? Steve, what do you say?
I have a lot of courage.
Oh yeah. That's crazy, huh? חזק מאוד מה שאומרים לו. If you open Sefer Daniel, when he heard their words, wow, he was fuming. He was fuming. And they knew where to turn, how to turn the button on him. They knew very quick. And they did it. ומה קרה? And they took him. They took את חנניה, מישאל ועזריה, and they threw them to the bonfire. This is one of the very few stories that we know where Jews got saved. Most stories that we know, Jews died on Kiddush Hashem. But this is one of the few stories that the Goyim took us, and Hashem did not let them see us dying, Has v'Shalom. Rather, HaKadosh Baruch Hu shalach Malach Gabriel. You hear this? Malach Gabriel. בא מלאך גבריאל, והקדוש ברוך הוא מה עשה? His job is, he's in charge על האש. You hear me? מלאך גבריאל is in charge על האש. ו-imagine, אומר לקדוש ברוך הוא, ריבונו של עולם, let me go down, and let me do my job. מה תעשה? I'm going to cool off the inside, I'm going to turn the out hot. Yeah, usually it's the bonfire inside is boiling hot, and outside it's cool, right? Right? If you do a barbecue, if you do a bonfire, inside it's hot, outside is cool. The opposite. Inside, I turn on an AC, and outside, I'm going to blow them away. And you know what happened? When they took Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah to throw them to the fire, lahavot, flames of fire, went to those people. Fire, they died. People outside died from the flames, from the heat that it got to them. They died. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, inside the fire, they're walking around, they're habibi, they go on a hike. היו מסתובבים הולכים. אומרים למלך, ריבונו של עולם, look what happened over here. ההוא מסתכל, מה, אני לא מאמין. I see 4 people. What's going on? חנניה, מישאל ועזריה ומלאך. אני לא מאמין. וואו, אני לא מאמין. חנניה, מישאל ועזריה, they did not leave the fire with no permission. Again, remember, we follow rules. Up to Torah Kedosha. Once you want me to go against the Torah, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So you want us to pay taxes? You're the king. You're gonna throw us to the fire? We're not gonna live till he's gonna say, "Come out." You hear them? Zorkim otam la'esh. Who's the winner? We. Yet, לא יוצאים until they get a command from the king, come out. ורבו ישי, איזה קידוש השם היה שם. what a קידוש השם. וחנניה, מישאל ועזריה. Once there is an order, get out, come out. הם יוצאים. איזה קידוש השם היה. איזה קידוש השם. Do you know what happened? The Goyim turned to the Jews who did bow down to the Avodah Zarah. And they spit at them. You have such a God, and you came and you bowed down to Avodah Zarah. You have such a God, such a powerful God. How did you drop him? Shame on you. The Goyim looked down on the Jews. Yesh lecha Elokim. Yesh lecha Elokim. You have God is on your side. And you went against him. Look, he just saved Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah from the fire. איפה הראש שלכם? אומר שלמה המלך, my dear Jew, תקשיב טוב, אני פי מלך שמו. If I'm a citizen, I have to keep the laws. I have to pay taxes, and I got to keep the laws that the Goyim have in the country here. Up to Divrat Shavuat Elokim. The minute they want us to do things against the Torah, I'm the Torah. Not gonna happen. זה לא יקרה. לא יקרה. We have to know that besides keeping laws, well, we got to be very careful not to do Hilul Hashem. You hear this? I once asked the rabbi about, taxes. Listen to this. The concept of dina de malchuta dina means that if you live in a country, you have to follow the rules of that country. You have to. Whether you live here or you live in a different country, you have to follow the rules. In the halakha, it's called dina de malchuta dina. However, the law that I have to follow, it's on a condition. Avi, you hear me? When do I have to follow the rules, Avi? No. Dina de malchuta dina is when the malchut
of the land.
If the malchut itself, they also follow the rules that they say. If Melech says rules, the governments, they have rules, and they don't follow their own rules, there is no such a concept of dina de malchuta dina. For the Melech to have power and him and we have to follow him, it's he follows all rules. But if the governments, they don't pay money and they scam, so midin dina de malchuta en li chova.
So we're good.
Yeah, you're good. Now, Omer Arav, maybe if you open Shulchan Aruch and you're going to see a halakha of paying taxes because dina de malchuta dina, I'm okay with not paying if it's true that they don't pay taxes. Maybe with that you're right, maybe. Again, let's assume that the governments, they don't pay taxes. They have their own shticks, which there is. I'm not saying that there isn't. And I'm not saying it's all, but there is. We know that there is. Do I have to follow the rules of the governments when they don't follow their own rules? The answer is no. So mitzat Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yisrael, after 120, you come up. If the Malchut paid taxes and you did not pay taxes, you are over halakha. Forget about the governments. Shulchan Aruch I'm talking now. I'm talking now Shulchan Aruch. Let's assume that they all pay taxes and I didn't. I will over on halakha of dina de malchuta dina. But if they didn't, do I have to keep that halakha of dina de malchuta? No. Omer Harav, maybe in ilchot dina de malchuta dina you're good to go. Maybe you're right. You don't have to. But if you're going to open to ilchot hilul Hashem, and they're going to quote the Jew with the kippah, and then you see a picture on the news, and the newspaper is so and so, the Jew over here, the rabbi. They didn't pay taxes. So maybe Medina Melchuta good. But what so then why do we have to pay taxes? Or original because they're they don't pay. But you gotta be very careful not to be. So why am I paying taxes? You know why?
So you don't put yourself in danger.
That's maybe also, but the answer is because be Hilul Hashem. So now let's go to the pasuk. Omer Chashlomo HaMelech. ובזה נסיים להיום. אני פי מלך שמו. I have to follow the rules of the country, of the governments. Up to ואל תברד שבועת אלוהים. If they tell us to do something which is against the Torah, there I don't have to follow. And we have to believe in it. And all the way. Now I want to go back to what happened this year, in the beginning of, I think it was this year, or last year. With the corona, was this year?
No.
Closing the schools. So wasn't it, was last year?
Last year.
Okay. So, the governments in Israel, no school is allowed to open. And if you do, fine of 15,000. 15,000, I believe, shekels. You'll pay a fine if you open the school. And then kept those 15,000 to 30,000, double. That's the governments in Israel. The principals in the yeshivot that went to Chaim Kanievsky. Rabbi, the government says, they say to close the schools. And if you're not if you're gonna open, you're gonna open with 10,000 and then 30,000. What should we do? Open schools. How come? Cops went around giving, tickets, fines. With 2 fines. It was here in New York. Somebody who said all the money that the yeshivot can have to pay, I'm paying.
Wow. In the community? One guy?
I'm not going to mention who. And in the end, what happened? A couple months after, I don't know what happened there. They were able to cancel all the tickets, so nobody paid anything. Wow. Now, Chaim Amar, you open yeshiva, you don't close yeshiva, you open. Corona. אבל רב חיים אמר לפתוח, פותחים. שמעתם מה זה תורה? זה נקרא, ועל דברת שבועת אלוהים. התורה אומרת לפתוח ישיבות, פותחים. That's it. מה אתה אומר, סטיב?
That's the rules we gotta follow.
Did we win?
We won.
חזק וברוך. יום טוב.